What's up, y'all? What's going on? How you feeling? All right, look, I'm still here, man. I'm still here, and I'm gonna take my breaks, but I ain't going nowhere. I'm still riding. You know what I'm saying? So, if you're new, please like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell. If you already did that, I appreciate it. If you'd like to support the Sanity Show, you can go to patreon.com/The Sanity Show to support the channel, and I appreciate that. All right. So I like to jump right into things. Everybody know that, right? So today Facebook banned a number of people that they have deemed dangerous, right? And the list of people included Minister Farrakhan, Minister Louis Farrakhan, Mayo Yiannopoulos, Alex Jones, and Laura Loomer, a whole bunch of far-right folks, okay? Farrakhan, to me, Farrakhan's kind of like the eyeball of that list. It's like you got a whole bunch of far-right people, then you got Farrakhan, right? Okay, so I'm gonna get back to that though. So the purpose of banning these people is supposed to be to not allow the platform to be used to spread hate, okay? And the question is, how are you determined? How do you determine whether somebody is spreading hate or not, right? And who fits the description of a hate spreader, right? So Facebook said that they are looking at certain factors. I'm gonna run these down real quick, just a few. They said whether the person or organization has ever called for violence against individuals based on race, ethnicity, or national origin. That's fair, right? That's cool. That's number one. That's cool. We don't want a person or organization to be able to call for violence against individuals, based on their race, ethnicity, or national origin. We don't want people to be able to do that. Oh, we don't like these folks, so let's go and do X, Y, Z to them. We don't want people to be able to, these platforms shouldn't be used for that. I agree with that, actually. That's cool. You have history with that. When the Rwandan genocide kicked off, it was like they was using the radios. It was using the actual radio to signal, to initiate. They used radio to signal to people to initiate the genocide. So it's important. You can't have that. That's cool. Now, number two is where everything gets a little tricky, right? Number two is whether the person has been identified with a hateful ideology. That's tricky, right? Because identified by who? You know what I'm saying? If they've been identified with a hateful ideology, right? And what constitutes a hateful ideology, right? That's another question, because that can get a little tricky too, right? If you look at, all right, for example, right? Who gets to determine that? Who gets to determine what constitutes a hateful ideology? You know what I mean? What if you think something is hateful and I don't? What if I and a whole lot of people don't think it's nothing hateful about it, but, the folks in the room think that it's something hateful? At Facebook, it ain't a whole lot of black folks there. It's definitely not a whole lot of ADOS there. I don't know if there's almost any. You know what I'm saying? They had an issue with that. They had problems with diversity. And this is where that comes in hand. I don't want to just say diverse. Let me back up. Hold up. Slow down. They have a serious problem, right, with ADOS being, or black folks working at Facebook. They got a problem with that. Facebook has had a problem with that for a long time. And that's why it's important for us to be in these spaces, because now, these folks can, determine whatever. Because, listen, the whole thing with Farrakhan being in that group, when you look at the fact that Farrakhan was in a group of far-right people that got kicked off of Facebook, to me, they just used Farrakhan to satisfy those white folks. You know what I'm saying? Because Farrakhan hasn't, the country isn't threatened by Farrakhan. The country is threatened by right-wing people running out shooting motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. Right-wing people, the country has the problem that the country has right now is that you got right-wing folks running out shooting at people. You know, it's nobody from the Nation of Islam doing that. They not running out there doing that. You see what I'm saying? So it was almost like he was used just to satisfy the far right, because they was throwing so many far right people off. You know what I'm saying? You can't equate Farrakhan to the far right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's two entirely different histories. Like with Farrakhan, it's more like, I don't like what he says. You know, the far right, though, they got a history of violence. A history of violence in this country, in other countries. You see what I'm saying? So that's a totally different thing. You know what I mean? With Farrakhan, it's like, I don't like his rhetoric, right? Or the rhetoric of the Nation of Islam. You know what I'm saying? It's not what they actually did. It's not the history of their behavior or their actions. You understand what I'm saying? So to me, it don't equate. I'm looking at it like, this is bullshit, because y'all tripping. You know, y'all just using him. Again, like I said, they just using him just to satisfy the fact that they threw a bunch of white folks off. You know what I mean? You know, when people call themselves Nazis, right? When they call themselves Nazis, they connecting themselves to Nazi Germany. When they out there doing that salute, that's a high Hitler salute. They are saluting Hitler. The motherfucker that had an air force and tanks and killed millions of Jews. When people join the Klan today, they thinking about the Klan riding around horses lynching us. You see what I'm saying? That's the real danger. That's where the danger is at. The danger is there. You know, they want to try to equate. You know what I mean? They're trying to equate, you know, Farrakhan to the far right, and I'm not for that shit. I'm just not feeling that. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is not the end of this. It's going to be much more of this, because this is a way that we can silence people that's too loud. When somebody gets too loud, when somebody start truly moving the crowd, we can silence them. But with these labels. So that's it. I'll holler at y'all soon, real soon, I hope. And that's it. Peace.